when Embiid criticized Drummond for his defense. Later that year, oh boy, Drummond brushed off Embiid by questioning his durability. Their feud spilled over into 2018 when Embiid tweeted he owned real estate in Drummond's head. Drummond fired back by throwing shade at Embiid's conditioning. Chris, how will this play out in Philadelphia?
Well, first, let me address the basketball issue of it. It's a good pickup. Obviously, he's going to play the Dwight Howard role. Obviously, Joel Embiid has to be low managed. So when Embiid's out, they got a guy that can go in there and get you 15 and 12 on a nightly basis in Andre Drummond. So for a backup center for the veteran minimum, this is a good pickup, all right, basketball-wise. As far as their attitudes, it's not going to be an issue. There's no way I think this is an issue. First of all, I would imagine they ran this by Joel Embiid. Secondly, when you look at the NBA, when you go at a guy and you trash talk a guy to the media or even on social media, that means you think he's worthy of your time. All right, you're not going to go at somebody. You might go at them in a game if you think they really can't play. But all the other stuff, you don't have to be bothered with somebody who's way beneath your level. So Embiid knows Drummond's pretty good. He's not as good as me, but he's a pretty good player. All right, and we've seen this before. Aren't Kevin Durant and Draymond Green playing together on Team USA? We know about their history. Didn't Kobe Bryant and Metta World Peace have some issues? Remember in the playoffs when World Peace was in Houston? They almost came to blows. They were nose to nose. And the next season, Metta World Peace is playing small forward in the starting five for the Lakers, who go ahead and win the title with Kobe Bryant. Kobe had issues with Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes faking the ball in his face. Remember that? The next season, Kobe calls Barnes, hey, man, anybody that's crazy enough to go at me is crazy enough to play with me. So there's a respect level there. Even amidst all the trash talk, they'll be fine. I don't think it'll be an issue at all.
You know, even Jesus went and got a rider in Saul. Got so deep, he changed his name to Paul. You know what I mean? Listen, it can work out. I think when you go into goon mode, right? And that's what this is. When goons are goons, you respect that. I love having you as a teammate. I hate having you as an opponent. I can recall Warren Sapp used to skip through stretching lines when I was playing. And I remember saying during the week, if Warren Sapp comes through our stretching line, I'm going to go at him. I don't care if I lose. I don't care what happens. You're not going to skip through and disrespect our stretching line. So it became this whole big thing. Warren said what he said. Say he was going, you know, I've dealt with people much bigger than him. Became a thing. If me and Warren Sapp ever played on the same team, I would be the happiest dude in the world, having that guy on our defensive front. There would not be us in the locker room talking about, hey, bruh, I remember when you hit me up on Twitter and was like, I got real estate in your head, player. Like, it's not going to go down that way. Guys respect one another when you don't. Like, if a dude would have been like, I'm in your head, player, and he's like, oh, no, he's in my head. Like, I don't want him. Like, we ain't good. Like, I'm not good with this dude. He's a fake tough guy. He's soft. But this is two dudes that are alpha males. They're apex guys. When you come together on the same team, Embiid needs to have a little bit more. They didn't have, in my opinion, enough toughness in this year's playoffs. When it came down to it, and you needed an enforcer like an Anthony Mason type dude or Charles Oakley, somebody that might set a tone, because Embiid is tough, but Embiid is finesse. You know, when you talk about Drummond is just, that's a powerful dude. So you bring that into your building. Now the question becomes, what do we do with Ben Simmons? Because now we do have that extra added piece down low where we don't have to depend on Embiid going down into the trenches. So what do we do in terms of what is our perimeter game going to look like? I think he's a better addition and a better fit for this 76ers team than even Dwight Howard was coming into the situation this past year.
Wow. I'm stunned that you guys are this high on Andre Drummond. I want to turn back the clock to Game 6, Lakers-Suns. in the playoffs. Do you guys remember what Drummond did? Do you remember what he did?
He was watching.
Did not play coach's decision, okay? Andre Drummond has had a nice career. Daryl Morey loves to shop in the bargain basement bin. Sure, I will take a former All-Star at the veterans minimum.
Bin.
I mean, that's where Andre Drummond was. Nobody wants this guy. I mean, a good player, former All-Star, 15 and 12, like you said. But the reality is, this is misdirection, Chris. Chris, this is taking everybody's shine away from the real story in Philadelphia. What the hell is going on with Ben Simmons? Because that's all that anybody cares about. The draft comes and goes. No trade for Ben Simmons. Free agency, we're what, 3 days in? Crickets on the Ben Simmons front. Chris, LeVar, both of you know you cannot play Ben Simmons and Andre Drummond on the court at the same time. Two non-shooters. Drummond's barely even a rim roller at this point. Like, I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia, and the Ben Simmons stuff is extremely troubling. The question was, how will this play out? Frankly, Embiid and Drummond will dap each other up, have fun in practice, go at it. Doesn't really matter. What matters is what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. And Daryl Morey's facing it right now because we're all watching in Portland when Damian Lillard basically put down an edict. I need you guys to give me stars. I saw Giannis got Drew Holiday, and y'all need to get me somebody. Have you seen what Portland's done, Chris? They didn't get nobody. Damian Lillard is very upset, and right now, if Daryl Morey can pull off Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons in some capacity, I know Portland doesn't want to do it, but maybe they should. That's when the Sixers will matter. But right now, they're not top 4 in the East. And frankly, I'm no lie here, no cap, as the kids say.
No cap.
Keep an eye on the Chicago Bulls making a run to bypass the always injured Joel Embiid and the 76ers, who seem to be cratering after being the #1 seed last year.
Yeah, we'll get to the Bulls a little bit later, but obviously I see where you're coming from. But look, I'm with you, J-Mac, on let's not overstate Andre Drummond. All right, it's a nice pickup for the vet minimum. You got a center that's injury-prone. He does bring a certain attitude, what you said, LeVar. I think he'll be fine in a backup role. You can also play them together at times, potentially, because Drummond can play down low, and Embiid, as you said, he is a great mid-range shooter. Not a good one, a great mid-range shooter, and so he can be on the perimeter. But, yeah, J-Mac, let's see what they do with Ben Simmons. They've got to make this move because I'm not as high on Chicago as you are, but other teams in the East are making moves. Miami, I do think, at this point, has surpassed Philadelphia. So we're going to have to see what they do with Ben Simmons. They're trying, and there are people around the league who'll tell you they're going to move him. What they need is Damian Lillard to go ahead to Portland and say, "Go send me to Philly." Because Dame put out, when Damian Lillard said, "I want to see what they do," what could they do? I'm not surprised they didn't do anything. They couldn't do anything. There was no major move out there for the Portland Trail Blazers to make. So I think Dame knew that. So you were basically saying, you got to go do something that you're incapable of doing if you want to keep me. So he obviously doesn't want to be the bad guy. I think he may give him a year. But if Dame Lillard or Bradley Beal needs to say to their management, send me to Philadelphia or Golden State, but send me to a contender, and I think the best spot is Philly because you can play with Joel Embiid.
Wait, LeVar, did I just hear Chris right? Did he just say that what can Portland do? Bro, the Lakers just flipped Kuzma, KCP, and a bunch of spare parts for an awesome team that is the favorite now in the West.
Nobody else wanted Russell Westbrook,
and 4 guys who can shoot over 40%
Nobody
from 3.
wanted Westbrook with that contract. Stop it.
People aren't going to Portland.
Nobody wanted Russell Westbrook.
Hold on, real quick. People underestimate this about LeBron. You make a good point. Everybody wants to come to L.A. Yeah, we got the high taxes out here, but we also have the beaches in Hollywood. I'm just going to put this out there. LeBron is an unbelievable recruiter.
He is a recruiter.
And you guys blasted me for me ripping Kawhi. Hey, I haven't heard Kawhi make any moves. I haven't heard Damian Lillard recruit anybody. For all the talk about Draymond Green working on guys on the U.S. Olympic team, Golden State didn't get nobody. So we need to give LeBron a little bit more props for him recruiting Carmelo and Kendrick Nunn and Ellington and all these guys. Malik Monk, they got a good roster, Chris. The Lakers have a good roster because of LeBron. Where's Joel Embiid on the recruiting front, huh? What's he doing out there? These star players, Chris, have to step up.
LeBron's a great recruiter, but recruiting isn't necessarily part of the game. He wants to do it, that's fine, go out and do it. But, you know, if you don't want to do it, don't do it if you're a player. I'm not going to rip these guys because they don't go out there and recruit guys to play with them. You know, but if LeBron is great at doing it. He does a good job. But I'm not going to rip some of these guys if that's not what they're about. Go play with what you got.
And lose.
And lose. And
Should
lose.
Patrick